there, welcome back to Lessons Learned. I'm Sherry. This is Monday Quilt Chat. We're here to chat about all the quilty things going on in my life and in the quilty world in general. So, this weekend, I got some sewing done. I got a few Millie's blocks done. How many of you are working on Millie's blocks? I think I've asked before and I keep forgetting to pay attention how many of you are actually doing it. This is a Pattern by Fat Quarter Shop. It is 16 little dresses. Well, they're supposed to represent like grandma's dresses. So I am using the line Market Street. And this is the last one that I did. Let me just show you all of them. They're just as cute as can be. And as you know, I'm trying to figure out a way to take this pattern and the hats pattern, haberdashery, and combine them into one normal sized quilt instead of two small quilts. I'm struggling with that. I need to make a few more of these. Spread them out a little bit again. I like this one. It's pretty. And then here's a green one. And then this one you've seen. I think I showed you last week. I think this is my favorite one. This is the one that gave me all the grief. But now that I'm paying more attention to the sizes of the sections and the intersections and making sure my cutting is very accurate, they are coming out swimmingly. They're not the funnest to make though. I like to make the skirt and the belt. This part gives me a little grief on its own, and then there's 3 bias pieces here on each sleeve that can get wonky, but I'm doing them accurately now, so I really like how these are turning out. They're really cute. So we shall see what I do on that, but there are 16 and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 done. I still have to make 11 of these. Oh my goodness. Maybe I'll just make up all the skirts and then make up all the bodices and then make up all the sleeves and just kind of chain do it like that. Although that usually gets me in trouble. Although I've done quite a few now, I probably won't mess those up. So, Millie's dresses, I got it back out again and we are working on that. Did it get cold again where you live? We had fake spring there for a while. They call it fake spring, you know, when it gets warm in the winter. Let's see, isn't it this week that it turns actually spring on the calendar? I think it is. It's going to be cold here though, like 40s, 50s in the nights. There's going to be some times where it's in the 20s, so I'm really hoping that it doesn't kill the buds on the trees and the flowering bushes and things like that. I got my list here that I want to work off of. It's not as long of a list as normal, but I have a few things to talk about today, and I'm sure it'll go way longer than I always think that it will. I also worked on Happy Days. Doesn't that look like a fried egg, kind of like? Okay, these are the border corners that I was showing you on Friday, and I have got I'm not going to show you all 24 of these, but I have to, the thing left to do on these is to do the blanket stitch around like in this case, the blue one and the yellow one. And then I can start putting those stripedy ones that are shaped like this with it and make the borders. So, I don't know. It's quite a bit of weight in there. I know there's a way to do it to where you just use the center, but I missed doing that. I went ahead and cut them out before I could do it that way. But this is kind of the type of quilt that will probably never be a soft quilt, no matter how you slice and dice it. It's just going to be one of those works of art, I guess, type of quilt. Something to hang on the wall or something, and a pretty good sized wall it would take up. So I got all of that part done. So now I just have to do the blanket stitch, the actual sewing of those. So I'm still working on Happy Days. I got an email from the Fabric Hut. You know the Fabric Hut? They're the people that have the blades, the rotary blades for extra cheap. A lot of times they'll sell you 10 blades for $37.50, and they're pretty good blades. I feel like they're just as good as any blade. They last pretty good. You know, I don't know. I never actually clocked time on my blades to really know, but they seem to perform well. They're usually $75, and they frequently have them 50% off. And I think I still have a link in my description box of all my videos for a deal on those, so you may be able to get yourself some. Anyway, what I was going to tell you about the Fabric Hut is they contacted me in an email and offered me a quilt kit. And to do a tutorial on it. It's a quilt kit that they put together with their fabrics and everything that, you know, everything Fabric Hut. They made these kits. So I went ahead and agreed to do that. It was discounted, it was a $138 kit or $139 kit, something like that. So I'm going to make one of those and do a tutorial, and I asked them, aside from getting paid for doing the video, I also asked for a giveaway. So they are sending me an extra kit to give away. So be on the lookout for that in the coming weeks. I'm not sure exactly when I'll get around to it. I'll probably have to be working on it over time and, you know, make my video clips and then put it together for a video for them. And then once that gets all approved and released, then I will have the giveaway. So that'll be part of that video, no doubt. So that's something coming up pretty soon. I think they've already sent it out. So, you know, probably sooner than later, really, that I'll be working on that. Another thing I worked on this weekend is I started another scrap project. I know I have the little 2.5-inch block project I'm working on, which is getting a little neglected. I haven't done that. I just wanted to change it up in the scrap department. So I'm sure you all have seen this. I saw this on Pinterest. I've seen it around for years, but I've never paid much attention to it, other than you can use this method to make half square triangles. Now what I'm doing is not half square triangles, but you pick a solid or any 2 blocks that you want to do. They don't even have to be, you know, what I'm doing is like a 2-tone quilt where you have your scrap and then you have your gray between everything. So all you do is you take, well, I have one sitting out here. You take your 2 pieces, you put them right sides together, and then on your sewing machine, you just go around 1/4 inch all the way around. And then you kind of pull this part away after you make these marks on there. Okay, did I say that? The marks go from the side to side. So between the 2 corners, the 2 stitched corners. So you pull your fabric away so that you can get your scissors started right at that juncture, right at the intersection. So you take your scissors and you make a little nip in there, and then that's enough to get inside of your block. And you're not cutting the colored part of the block, you're just cutting this side. So see, I got a hole there. So I'll finish the line on the other side. And then you do the other line. And then when you open those up, you kind of have, well, you have a square and a square. So you open these up, and there's your block under there. This is what your block will be, like this. So I've made a bunch of those. I've got a whole bunch made. I just did that one day, just kind of goofing around. So I have a bunch of these. And I'm like, just sew them together, right? Just make 4 patches and then you make 16 patches, and then from there, just keep going, right? Just like I do the smaller ones. But the issue that I'm having, and I mentioned this on Friday, that I wanted to ask what you all thought about this, is when you put those together, you lose the point. So here's the block. Here is a block, and see how you lose the point. There's no way to make anything bigger or smaller or cut differently to avoid this. So, do you think that looks okay? If it does to you, it could be called a slight snowball. Because it is. It's kind of a slight snowball, in a way. I think it's fine for a scrap quilt, don't you? I can't think of any way to get the points to stay by doing it this method. But I think it's okay, because all of the points are eventually going to be snowballed just a little bit. It's just going to be a rounded square, you might say. So I have that block done, and I'm kind of grouping them. As I do my 4 patches, I'm kind of doing 2 lights and 2 mediums to dark. I have a lot more medium fabric than I do light and dark, which I'm sure most of you do too. There's a peach one. You can see right through these. Let me put one behind it. There's a peach one, and then here's another bluish, tealish one. That one has bird on it. Right here. Let's see, I think I meant for that to go like this. So I think they'll make cute little blocks. And then using 2 lights and 2 darks, they will always be okay beside each other, I think. See? So I'm just going to work on this as I want to, as mindless scrap working. The thing that made me also want to do this, not just boredom with what I was doing, I discovered I have this many 5-inch squares of just scraps. There's a few in there that are leftovers from charm packs, but my idea was to do no repeats of these. Make sure I just do 1 of each. There's multiples in here, so if I do 1 of each print that I have, then that might be where I stop on my quilt. Or I might just keep it going as I get new ones so that I don't have repeats. But do you think that's okay that I'm going to be rounding those off? I think it is. I think it is. Now I've seen this method before, used before too, for half square triangles. See, you can get 4 half square triangles out of this. And I think I even have a video on it. If you cut this across, up and down, like I'm showing you right now, but straight up and straight across, you would have 4 half square triangles. They won't be perfect. You will have to trim them. You will have to trim them. So if you do ever do that method, make them bigger than what you need so that you can trim down to what your pattern calls for. So I'm not totally unfamiliar with this, but when you go to put them together like this, then you've got this issue. And I don't know if it's an issue. I mean, I don't think so. Just for a scrap quilt, I don't think so. That's something you all can do too. You just got a quilt tutorial just then. So if you haven't done that before and you want to do some mindless quilting, you'll wind up with a whole bunch of these in a hurry. I think I've already got like 50 of these. But it'll take a while to get something that's a full quilt size. I'd like to make it really huge. It'd be cool. So I did that. I went to my local quilt shop on Saturday afternoon for a long arm meeting. There's a little long arm group that meets there, I found out. And they have a meeting once a month for a couple hours on a Saturday afternoon. So that works out perfect for me. So I went to the first one this week and met some nice ladies there. And let me see if I can remember everybody's names. I was trying to really concentrate on people's names while I was there. The girl that works at the store that does the meeting, her name is Julie. And then I met Rosemary, and I met Sally, and I met Teresa and Jennifer, and I can't remember the rest. There's Teresa brought a friend with her, and I can't remember her name. And then there's one other lady, I can't remember her name. Oh, I wish I could. So sorry. I will get it again next time. And I will try to remember. But we had a good time. So hi, you gals, if you're watching. I hope you are. And we will see each other in April for the next long arm meeting. Looking forward to it. Next week, I have a FPP class to go to there, so I'm looking forward to that. That is all day, and really cool pattern. I've seen the pattern now, so I'm anxious to go to that and learn that. Of course, I know how to foundation paper piece, and she showed the papers, and the pattern is not near as hard as the state stars that I'm doing, so I think I'll be fine in the class, but the pattern that's been chosen is really cool, so I'm anxious to get going on that. So, Sari Diddy will be there from Moda Designer. So, there's still a couple of spots open. If you're local, call the store in Clarksville, Sew and Vac Authority, and get signed up for the class. There's a couple spots left. So, I think it's important, that we support our local quilt shops like many of you express. We want those stores to stay around because, it's sounding like the big box stores for sewing and crafts. We got one of the major ones that's kind of in some possible trouble. We've heard of stores that are closing and things like that. So, we got to keep our quilt stores in business. So I'm anxious to do a little more with my local store and get to know the people that frequent the store, people that work at the store, know their products and know what new things they have coming in and support that the best that I can. So lots of fun. I really enjoyed it. Let's see what else. Yes, Wednesday's video about what is it called? Seam guide. The upgraded seam guide is what it's called on Amazon. There's a link in my description box if you want one. This is a magnetic, super magnetic seam guide, and this little foot right here sits down on top of your two seams that you're sewing and holds it in place for a good distance so that you have a hand free to deal with your quilt or the bulkiness of your quilt. So it's really, really handy for bindings, and of course I demonstrated that on last Wednesday's video. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out. There was a giveaway for 2 of these. I have one of the winners that has contacted me. That was Charlotte, and hers is in the mail. And then Susie did not respond yet. So Susie, if you're listening, you have been chosen for the seam guide, and I need to get your mailing information so that I can get it out to you. And your YouTube handle is Suzy, SUZY dash Carol, KAREL, Morin, MORIN 6385. And I'll put that up here on the screen so that that can hang out there for a minute. In case you're watching, Susie, you are the winner of the second binding seam guide. So if she does not respond by Friday, I'll pick another one on the Friday video, just like I did this last Friday. So we will choose a new one then, because a week is plenty of time to get in touch with me. Let's see, what else do I have for you? Wednesday's video. Wednesday's video is going to be a new project, but it's going to involve you. So remember, some of you a while back, we did the subscriber red and white quilt, and some of you sent fabric in to me for that so that we would have a wide variety of red and white fabric for that quilt. Turned out great. It was a fun project. I loved doing it, and I cherished the quilt. And I have another idea. You will see this on Wednesday. I will tell you all the details about it then, and have a little demonstration on what you need to do if you want to participate, or if you just want to make the quilt on your own for yourself. This is going to be a pattern that anyone can do, any level of person can do. So I want you to be looking at your batik fabrics, and you're not going to need much, at least for the quilt that I'm going to build for our channel. So if you're going to make your own quilt, you need to have a few colors of batik ready. Other than that, you just need 2 small pieces of batik to use for a block that you will construct and send to me. Any of you can participate in this, but I'll give you all the details about that on Wednesday. So it should be fun. I was checking out some of my fabric bins as I was cleaning and straightening the other day, and I was thinking, this batik bin is not budging. I need to make a project with that, and fast, because I can't stick another thing in there. And I haven't even bought much batik in the last year. So I don't know where that come from, but it's finally accumulated to where I need to do something with it. So we'll have a batik project on Wednesday. It'll have a tutorial, it'll have a pattern, it'll have all the details and what we're going to do with that quilt. So stay tuned for that. That should be fun. I can't wait. Let's take a look at this week's quilt block. Art quilt. It's very cool, and I'm going to put a picture right here so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the art quilt of the week from the Quilt Art Engagement Calendar 2024 from AQS. So this quilt, it's called Lepidoptera Lollapalooza. That's a lot of L's. 88 by 88 by Joan Ladansky of Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. It says, the piece includes 25 butterflies that have 12 coordinated colors applied on their wings and bodies. Joan collected roughly 240 fabrics and 40 threads. Selecting and placing the fabrics brought her joy during COVID. The white background is whole cloth with a butterfly print, while the binding has a more colorful butterfly print. Joan machine applique and free motion quilted the piece on her domestic machine. A ribbon winner at the Wisconsin State Fair, West Allis, Wisconsin, and the Viewer's Choice winner at the Crazy Quilters Show in Mukwonago, Wisconsin. Sorry. The pattern is by Kimberly. Oh, the pattern is called Kimberly by Joanne Hoffman Designs, or CompuQuilterDesigns.com. I've never heard of that. I might have to look that up. This is an 88 by 88 quilt. She appliqued and free motion quilted all over that. So this is amazing. And all of the fabrics, 240 fabrics and 40 threads that she used on this. This is amazing. She's got some very small stippling on that background. Wow. Okay, Lepidoptera Lollapalooza is what she called it. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so here is my journaling for last week. Yes, ma'am, I was busy. Yes, I was. And I don't see any change in sight for this week. I'm going to continue to work on Happy Days and Millie's dresses. maybe, just maybe, I'll get my Sew Sampler box this week, and we will have the ending of the Pressed Flowers month by month block. And I've heard, haven't seen it yet, I've heard it's a little involved. So if that comes in the mail, I might be pulling that out to get that going. I have a lot of quilts really close to being done. And I won't know what to do with myself here pretty soon. Ha ha ha. Famous last words. I've always got plans for the next thing. I've got more plans for the next thing than I do for the things I have. So that's just the way it is, isn't it? That's what we do. Yep, that's what we do. I did not do a long arm project this weekend because, why? Because I did that little black and white one on Wednesday. That's what it was. Maybe Wednesday's the ticket for me on long arming. Oh, I wanted to say something else. Julie, at the long arm meeting, she did a really interesting little quilt that I should do, and I will try it. On the long arm, you just load up a backing fabric, some batting, and take your odd shaped scraps that you have, lay them down, and free motion right over the top of those, even with the raw edges. And she was just going right inside the raw edge. You could do it that way, or you could just free motion all over, is what I imagine too. But you'd want to get your edges down so that your foot doesn't get caught in anything, I'm pretty sure. But that would be fun, wouldn't it? Be kind of artsy to do. So I might try something like that this week, or put another of my tops that are waiting on the long arm and get one of those done. So plenty to do. I will be busy again this week. I hope you will be too. I hope you're sewing. I hope you're quilting. I hope you're plowing through those projects, either working on your blocks of the month, blocks of the week, or even block of the day, or it's anything that you got hanging out that needs to be worked on. I hope you're working on it. Just work on it a few minutes a day. Time yourself if you don't have much time, and it adds up. It does. It adds up quick. So keep those projects rolling. Well, I think that's all I have for this week. It was kind of a short video, I think. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. I can't tell. I can't tell yet. I can't see that number on the screen yet. I didn't buy anything. Did I buy anything this week? I don't think I received anything in the mail, so I didn't buy anything. I can't think of anything. I've got the Sew Sampler box coming. I did order some more of, well, I took it away, but those Lori Holt binding things, I ordered a couple more of those. So those are coming. Fabric-wise, I don't think I bought any fabric. I don't think I did. I don't think I have for a while. So, and that's okay. I've got plenty. I've got plenty to do. Plenty to choose from for projects. I can't wait to get started on the Tilda project too. The wreath quilt. So that is in the next project box. So as soon as I get Millie's dresses underway and the haberdashery, whether I'm going to combine them or not, whether I get those, when I get those two into tops or a top, that one's going to get started. Yes. Oh yeah, I was saying, I have a lot of quilt tops that are close to being done. Happy Days, and then that subscription box from So Yeah. That one needs to be put together. Pressed Flowers is getting ready to come together. Barn Star is getting awfully close to coming together. I might work on those little 4-inch blocks this week too. Yeah, so I might have to start a whole bunch of new projects all at the same time. Wow, that would be like sensory overload, wouldn't it? All right, so as I was saying, keep on sewing. We will see you back here on Wednesday for that batik project we're going to start. It's going to be fun. And I'll talk to you then. And then back again on Friday. Finish it Friday. All right. Have a great week. We'll see you soon. Bye.